the spelling of his name. You see the word nasty in his name? Well, there's no coincidence. He was born with a nasty streak. This is one man who never surrenders, never waves the white flag, is hell-bent on finishing his opponent, and so often he does it in the first round. Remember what he did to Eddie Alvarez? Can he do it tonight to Peter Boust?
This highlight says it all, ladies and gentlemen. All his knockouts in the very first round. But it's not like he's only a one-hitter quitter, like he can only hurt you in the first round. If he does it, he will pick you apart for the entire match and beat on you, and he'll do a decision. He is a true highlight reel. His knockout power is the stuff of mythology. He is able to send people time traveling with just one shot, Michael. My only problem with him is we don't get to see him enough.
Mitch, about a month and a half ago, we asked fans which match in the entire One Championship Inside the Matrix series were they looking forward to. Timothei Настюхин and Peter Boust was unilaterally among the top three that fans worldwide were looking forward to as the rip snorter, as the cracker of the entire Inside the Matrix series.
He explodes into every one of his shots with highlight reel intentions, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be good.
It's a mixed martial arts contest. It's set for 3x5. Will it go that far? The good oil says no. The towering Dutchman, 13 centimeters taller. Let's go to Tom Lau.
And now, this next match is 3 rounds of 5 minutes in a One Championship lightweight mixed martial arts contest. This match is presented to you by Xbox. Power your dreams. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, he is the number 3 lightweight contender, standing at 190 centimeters tall, holding a mixed martial arts record of 17 wins and 4 losses. Training out of Combat Brothers, representing the Netherlands. Please welcome Peter, the Archangel Boust. And now, introducing his opponent out of the red corner, he is the number 4 lightweight contender, standing at 177 centimeters tall, holding a mixed martial arts record of 13 wins and 4 losses. Training out of Russia, representing Russia. Introducing Timothei Настюхин. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Yuji Shimada.
Sit up. Okay. No headbutt, no growing, no back. Okay. Always obey my command. That's gloves.
My goodness, look how the Tower of Power, the human skyscraper, Peter Boust dwarves Настюхин. Boust 190 centimeters, 6'3" in the old language, 177 centimeters Настюхин, or 5'9".
Ready? Ready?
Power advantage
Ready?
though,
Go!
Настюхин. First round finisher, Настюхin. But both men with incredible finishing rates. The intensity from the stare down you saw from Настюхин, he could make coffee nervous. Good round kick early on, those long legs of Boust. The Dutch kickboxing, it's reliant on thumping leg kicks, Western boxing, and most of all, volume. Good inside leg check there from Boust. Настюхин slugs early, overhand right. Got to watch the overhand right and the left hooks of Timothei Настюхin. Front kick there from Peter. Thought about the inside leg kick, fires another front kick. Timothei catches it, didn't get the counter off.
It's a lot of power coming from Настюхин early. You can see his lats are just gigantic. It looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
You wonder here if Peter Boust is working to time a knee, waiting for Timothei to explode in and draw that rising knee to the jaw. There's the lift hook again from Timothei. Baus cannot be flat-footed against Настюхин. Eddie Alvarez made that mistake. Cannot allow Настюхин to back him up against the wall here.
Yeah, that's what Timofey's trying to do. He's trying to push him up against that fence and let go of those monstrous hands. But Baus is doing a good job of keeping his hands nice and tight and deflecting a lot of these shots. He knows just how dangerous Настюхин is.
A win here could propel either man to top contender in this most stacked division. You do sense that Настюхин has respect for Baus. He's aware of the ability of Baus in all areas, particularly in the counter-striking of the beanpole Dutchman. Outside leg kick there from Peter. Circles off counterclockwise. He'll try and stay away from that power side, the right side of Timofey. Timofey looking to cut off the movement of the Dutchman. The Dutch have been renowned in history as the best kickboxers in the world. So many great K1 champions over the years. Semi Schilt and Peter Ertz and Remy Bonjaski, Ernesto Hoost, Andy Sauer, list goes on. When it comes to the striking, nobody does it better in kickboxing than the Dutch. Inside leg kick from Timofey. Catch and counter there from Timofey. As always, Настюхин looking ripped, stripped and striated. A Christmas tree on the back there, that deltoid like a bunch of bananas. Tremendous shape.
You can see Timofey's trying to time that knee. He's trying to catch that knee and then come over the top with that big right hand. He knows that Baus has got a lot of weapons and he's trying to figure out the timing of him right now. Monstrous punches coming from Timofey.
It looks like Timofey's drilled one particular technique in training to catch the kicking leg and then counter. At the moment, just hasn't got the distance, but he'll edge forward, he'll inch up, he'll get there. Overhand right, nice counter. On the balls of his feet, Timofey. Looks to check the low kick, does Baus, and just a warning for the low blow there. Accidental, of course, from Timothej Настюхин. 120 remains, and Mitch, I am on the edge of my seat for this one. I've got goosebumps just thinking about what could happen and watching it go down.
See, that force came with it that time. He was able to catch the kick, march forward, throw that right hand. There was so much force behind it that Baus went to his back. Baus is dangerous in his guard, but you can see Настюхин circled around, now has side control.
In the first round.
Well, being on the ground doesn't negate the height advantage that Peter has. Side control here for Настюхин, trying to pin that right arm. Couldn't pin it though. Looking to control the posture here is Peter Baus. 45 seconds on the clock, first round of 3.
Baus is a very good jiu-jitsu player, and a lot of times he gets very comfortable on his back. He needs to be a little bit more urgent and get back up to his feet, because Настюхin is going to try to drop those hammers on him.
Настюхin, 2014 Fila Pancration champion. Picks him up, puts him down. Up on both knees here. Posting up on the right arm momentarily, Peter Baus.
Good seatbelt position by Настюхin as he works around to the side, trying to get ready to throw those knees to the head of Baus. Baus he has to work his way back up. He can't end this round in this bad position like this. He's got to separate those hands and work his way back up to his feet.
End of the round, we go to the towels. Folks, let us know how you score it wherever you're watching around the world. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Give us a follow at One Championship Dragon. Intriguing opening round. Really just the tension here between these two, and the urgency from Настюхин is palpable.
Yeah, you can see it. He's trying to catch that kick, throw that big right hand, but that first round was all about the aggression coming from Timothej Настюхin. He definitely kept that pressure on Peter Baus, trying to pin him up against the fence and then let go with those hands. Good game plan so far from Timothej Настюхin.
But look how relaxed Baus is in his corner. Nodding at his trainer, composed, almost a zen-like state for Baus. Sometimes you think Peter Baus is up against it. He's under attack, but then he just pulls out a knee or an elbow or a high kick and he turns the tide or finishes his opponent. You know, in Holland, Muay Thai is classified in classes. When you start off your career, you're really in the lower class. The best class of Muay Thai athlete in Holland, the best kickboxers are A class. And that's what Peter Baust is. He is A-class. He's Dutch champion A-class in Muay Thai. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah, Michael, he's had over 100 kickboxing matches in Holland. He is so experienced on his feet, and he's very good off his back. But he's got to pick things up a little bit because Timofey is going to do this for 15 minutes. He's going to keep that pressure on him.
Obviously, he's brought the transition to mixed martial arts so well from his kickboxing and Muay Thai. Mitch, what does that require, and how does Baust do it so well?
He's just so composed. It's his mindset. It's his belief inside of himself that he truly believes he can do anything. He is truly blessed. And talking to him, you start to feel it too. You believe his confidence, his swagger that he has.
Plenty of movement here from Настюхин. He is throwing first. He is the aggressor. Baust may be buying his time. Maybe wants to draw Timofey into deep water of the third round, hoping that Timofey will gas out. But it's a big risk if indeed that's what Baust is doing. Jab there from Настюхин to the overhand right, catches that leg, tries to drop down and falls hammer off the right hand there. Long legs keeping Timofey at bay. 3:30 remains, second round of 3.
Easy past the guard, just through the legs to the side. But good transition by Baust to attack that single and then press him up against the wall.
He took those hammer fist strikes from Настюхин like they were nothing. Back up to their feet here. Настюхин glancing up at the big screen to gauge how much time is left. Now, just have a listen here. Is Настюхин starting to blow heavy? The heavy breathing you're hearing in this very quiet arena, closed door event, of course, inside the massive Singapore Indoor Stadium. The heavy breathing is Настюхин's.
You know, inside the global rule set, we do not judge round by round. We judge the match on its entirety. So this is, I mean, at any point you can change the complexion of this match, but you can see Timofey's not really slowing down.
Mitch, does that maybe tell you that Peter believes he can finish Timofey Настюхин, a tired Настюхин in the third?
That very well could be it. I mean, I was speaking to him earlier this week, and he spoke very specifically about taking Настюхин into deep water, trying to get him into that third round, wearing him out, and then taking advantage of that.
Настюхин's beaten so many great opponents. Of course, the knockout of Eddie Alvarez, win over Amir Khan, over Koji Ando. The list goes on. Edward Folaying, of course. They share that common opponent. Wrist control here from Timothée Настюхин. Half guard position, top position. Good curling into the knuckles off the right hand from Настюхин. Baust working off his back. Going to get mounted? No. Gives up his back here to Настюхин. That could be dangerous. We saw Настюхин ragdoll him in the previous round.
Oh, that's a much more energy economical takedown that he used. Outside trip, gets Baust back onto his back. In the first round, he was picking him up, trying to take him for belly-to-belly suplexes. But Baust is very composed, still very relaxed, still not even breathing heavy. We saw the gas tank of Baust in that 3-round war with Folaying. He wasn't even breathing heavy at the end of 15 minutes. But he's got to have a little bit more urgency because Timofey might build up too much of a lead.
You hear the breathing again of Настюхин in that top position. 1 minute 5 remaining, second round. We move into the third. There'll still be 5 minutes remaining. And you feel that's where Baust will want to swing that pendulum, will want to put the foot down and look to drop Timothée Настюхин.
See, this is where Baust is very comfortable. On his back, in guard, he'll start to look for transitions. He'll start to try to shove arms through, look for triangles, go for arm bars. But he's got to have a little bit more urgency behind it.
Still looking very composed though, Baust. Got an elbow off his back, had a foot on hips. Still has Timofey inside his guard, controlling Timofey's posture. 20 seconds or so now, second round of 3. Looks like we're going to go to the third. Close guard now from Peter Baust. Not allowing Timofey to posture up and drop those heavy hands. Ties up the arms now. It's been 2 good rounds thus far for Timothée Настюхин, but I get the feeling this is exactly where Peter Baust wants to be. We're moving into the third.
That's That's what we saw in the bout with Kota Shimoishi. We saw Baust wear him out and then perform that beautiful knee to get the KO finish. But we're seeing lots of this. We're seeing lots of forward pressure to the takedown, utilizing the catch, and then dumping Baust down on the ground. Monstrous overhand rights thrown by Timofey.
Mitch, if this was the end of your overall contest, you'd give it to Timofey Настюхин at the moment, correct?
At the end of 10 so far, it's Timofey Настюхин.
Now have a look here on the stalls. You see a lot of sweat. You see a little cut just on the side of the nose there on Настюхин. He is breathing the heavier, controlled breaths from Baust. Not much sweat from the Dutchman. Still looking very relaxed.
Out.
Is this the moment he pulls the trigger? Inside the mighty Singapore Indoor Stadium. Has this been the game plan of Baust all along, to weather the storm of Настюхин in the first 2 rounds and turn up the temperature, drive up the mercury here in the third? Jab from Timofey. All it takes is one head kick, one high knee from Peter.
See, but Timofey doesn't really fade. We saw it in the match with Koji Ando. He took him to a unanimous decision victory because he kept that pressure going. And again, we saw the same thing with Amir Khan. He scored 2 unanimous decision victories back-to-back, utilizing a very technical and strategic game plan.
You see the exertion there from Timofey, throwing everything behind these punches with a loud ki. Overhand right again from Timofey. Calls forward, Baust responds with a long right hand down the tube. He gets such extension on those arms.
But with those big, giant movements that Timofey's doing, he's starting to leave himself open, and we're seeing Baust start to tighten things up a little bit and score with the jabs and the push kicks.
Is there frustration creeping in now, Dragon, on Timofey?
You can start to see he's starting to just really throw those big power shots, and Baust is staying very technical, very strategic, and he keeps touching him over and over again.
A real contrast of martial artists here. One going repeatedly for the finish, the other biding his time, looking for the minute opening to present itself. There's the high kick, there's the catch, goes counter body, looping left to the head, not catching though. Not striking the target, Timofey Настюхин. Baust resets. Настюхин constantly moving. Right hand lead there, little faking dip off the left to disguise it. Oh, nice cracking right down the center there from Baust. That was one of the best punches of the match so far from Peter. Jab and retracts it quickly just to cover up against the counter.
A lot of feints coming from Timofey. You can see how he bobs to the left. I'd like to see Baust throw that jab, get him to shift to the left, and then throw a switch kick high.
So let's go.
Timofey, side-to-side movement, catch, tries to sweep the support leg, hasn't done that too much. It was an interesting change of tactic. Picks him up, boom, shakalaka.
Big,
almost put him through the canvas.
Big takedown landed by Timofey. Everything he does is just so exaggerated and powerful.
Halfway through the third and final round.
Well-timed takedown right here. You know this is where Timofey wants to be because Baust is usually so comfortable just sitting there and just working the jiu-jitsu. But he's got to have a little bit more urgency. Nice attempt at a sweep right there. Now he's got that knee shield. He might easily stepped over and passed for Timofey.
Side control, knees to the head there from Timofey. Hammer fist strikes from Timofey. Puts him inside of half guard, does Peter Baust. Under 2 minutes remaining. If Peter Baust is going to go, the time to go is now. If we were scoring it after 2 rounds as an overall contest, we would have had Timofey ahead. It's time for Baust now. But has he got what it takes to go? Настюхин has been relentless all over him, continually coming forward.
See, Timofey is not just a brawler, Michael. He is very strategic. He's an incredible architect of destruction.
Well, as I said earlier, Mitch, a 2014 Vila Pancration champion. We've got over 150 martial arts world champions on the one roster. Left hook, overhand right. There is now 60 seconds remaining for Baust. The Dutch tower needs to find something. Mitch, you've got to ask the question now. Does Peter Baust need to knock out or submit Timothej Настюхин to win this match?
And you know he carries that power. Those knees are always dangerous, but time is not on his side.
Is Timothej ripe for the picking yet?
Peter Baust has to defend that number 3 spot because Timofey is nipping at the heels.
Baust number 3, Настюхин number 4. Настюхin could get the number 3 position with a win tonight. He may be 15 seconds away from it. What has Baust got? Goes to the body off the right leg, throws the jab. Timofey still throwing those heavy hand, jumping knee from Baust. One of the few knees we actually saw, another jumping knee. And we go down to the judges. A place that most people thought we wouldn't be at, Mitch.
Timothej Настюхin has been on fire, but the action was constant back and forth. But what a chess match this turned out to be. Beautiful right hand landed by Baust in that 3rd round, but Timofey just kept that pressure going. He knew exactly when he wanted to go for these takedowns and what he needed to do when he got Baust to the mat to shut him down.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of battle, we turn now to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have called this contest in favor of your winner by unanimous decision from the red corner, Timothej Настюхин.
Timothej Настюхin gets the win. Does he go further up this stacked division? It was an aggressive performance from Настюхin, who did not relent, did not seem to tire enough that perhaps Peter Baust was waiting for in that 3rd round. Have a look at the overhand rights, the left hooks, the big boom shakalaka here. Timothej Настюхin with what can only be described as a powerhouse performance. In a moment, Mitch Chulson is going to have a chat with Настюхin.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with your winner, Timothej Настюхin. What an impressive performance against a very tough opponent. How do you feel about your performance here tonight?
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm very big time this fight. Training every day. This finish, it's my time. It's my time. I'm now 4 ranking in the lightweight. I need to title shot, please. Give me title shot. I'm ready.